What's up guys, welcome back to the Low and Left Disc Golf channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Birdie Disc Golf Supplies Reach. This is a 12.5 -1.3 disc. It's kind of one of your Destroyer-esque molds, but it's supposed to be a little bit straighter, a little bit glidier than maybe like a Star Destroyer or something similar to that. We're going to give it a try and see if it really is the people's destroyer for somebody who throws about as far as I do, or if I get about the same flight characteristics that I would out of my Destroyers or another disc in the same category. I've got a couple of discs to compare it to. We'll pull some of those out and show you what those are going to be. We've got your standard Star Destroyer. This one's a Ricky Wysocki 2-time world champ. This disc has been used. I would call this what I would say medium beat-in destroyer. We've got the Discmania Evolution Enigma in Lux Vapor Plastic. This would be another one of your people's destroyer type of molds. It's definitely straighter and a little less stable than most stock Star Destroyers molds. We've got a G-Star Destroyer, which we're going to compare to the Reach and the other discs in this category. It's also 150 grams, should be quite the bomber. We've got the Neutron Plastic Time Lapse, which is definitely going to be more overstable than probably every other disc we test today from my experience with it. This one's pretty close to new. It's been thrown a few times. It's max weight. It's pretty beef. And finally, we've got a Lucid Ice Sword. We're going to give it a try, see how it compares to the rest of them as well. Let's start it out with the baseline for me, which would be your standard Star Destroyer, and see how it flies. If I get a good hold of this, my goal with this, run a slight downhill hole with lots of room, is to throw this with flat, maybe a tiny bit of flex. Just try to get her to ride down there as best as possible. Let's go for about 65 to 70% power. That was flat, maybe a slight bit of flex. I would say that was probably closer to 55, 60% of power. I really didn't kill that one too much. Now that we've got the baseline out of the way, before we try the rest of them, let's give the Reach a try and see how it looks compared to that one. First off, I'll say it's new. It's slightly stiffer than the Destroyer I just threw, but I would say that's partially because it's new, because I've thrown a lot of Star that's stiffer than this when it's new for sure. Hand feel wise, I would say it closely resembles the Enigma out of all those discs, more so than it does the regular Destroyer. The rim feels a little bit more of an aggressive feel, but not in a bad way. I get a very solid grip on it. But anyway, we'll try to throw this one flat, slight flex, see what it does. Okay, so I definitely threw that one with a little more flex, a little more height, but it was nose up as well. That's probably right on top of the other Destroyer. This to me is what I'm guessing is probably going to be the most similar to the Reach as far as flight and hand feel even. They feel pretty similar. Alright, we got to start smacking on these a little bit. I'm not throwing these hard enough. Okay, so I turned that one over. That definitely had the most flex so far. That was a bad shot. We're not gonna count that one for much. 150 gram Star Destroyer. Okay, so I'm turning everything over. Well, not everything, but the last two shots. Since apparently I want to throw everything on 15 degrees of Anheuser, let's throw the time lapse and see if it'll survive. Yeah, the time lapse gave 0 F's about the Anheuser. Once again, my hands are a little cold. It's probably about 50 degrees out here right now. These are all just preliminary warm-up shots more than anything. We're definitely going to throw all these farther than they're going right now. Last but not least, we're going to throw the sword. I haven't thrown this one a whole lot. I'm going to throw it flat and trust that it's got enough stability. Well, I'm going to try to throw it flat, we should say. There we go. Ooh, wow, I got a little bit of turn. That's going to be the farthest shot. Wow. Okay. That was definitely the farthest out of the bunch for round one. Probably do at least 2, 3, 4 rounds, see what everything can do. I'm going to go collect all those, and I'm probably going to range them for you guys too, so you can see how pathetic all them throws were. A couple of those were pretty bad throws, but I was very surprised. I have not thrown many dynamic West Side Trilogy discs, but that sword is a bomber. That sword ended up going 386. The reach, the time lapse, and the Orange Destroyer were all in the 350 range. Smooth but powerful, keep the nose down, yada yada. We just gotta execute a good shot. That wasn't bad, but I still threw it a little high. Didn't I do that on the post one? Unfortunately, that's probably about the same as the first shot. That was honestly probably slightly more height than we needed on a hole that's slightly downhill like this. That was launched. That was good. That's what I wanted to do with the reach. If I was to do the reach like that, we would have had a chance. Yeah, that's probably down there where the sword was in the 380 range. It's a decent shot for me. That was a fairly good shot. Definitely. And it did, but I didn't throw it high enough. We got a slight bit of flip, but man, that did not go very far. That thing is a beast. That's too much disc for me. Good, so it was a little nose up. Still, that disc impresses me with the turn that I get on it and the glide. One. We'll throw my green Echo Star Destroyer. It's more like a 12.5, negative 2.5. Too low. As you can see though, I gave that an insane amount of hyzer and it still flipped all the way up. That was a bad throw. Okay, we'll go collect. I'll range a couple of those farther ones. We'll see what we got. And we're back. Well, I lost power to my mic, so I want to apologize for that. The video might be a little bit less quality of audio for the rest of it and before I noticed, but that last round of throws, the Orange Destroyer ended up coming in the farthest at 373. The reach that we seen me sky into the air was only 337. We definitely need to give this disc a better shot to fly because I know it can go farther than that with me throwing it. The sword was another respectable throw in the high 360s, and the Enigma was also in the high 360s. We're going to cut down to just these 3 discs and give them a toss and see what round 3 can hold. Oddly enough, I like to throw that disc high. We're gonna toss it a few more times. Don't leave yet. That was a good pump there. I should also mention the reach is obviously brand new, that Enigma is not. The sword is also brand new though. Oh, I pumped that one good. That was a great one. Okay, so once again, not the greatest release on the reach. We'll see where it ended up. That's where the reach ended up. I will say though, that sword that was 366 earlier was 20 feet short of where this one ended up this time. So that sword's probably sitting in the 380 to 390 range, and the Enigma's in the 370. Why I'm launching both of these, which I'll be honest, the Enigma and the Reach, they feel almost identical in my hand. So I don't know if it's a hand feel thing. It honestly might be a me thing. I'm trying too hard because I want to give the disc the best possible chance of showing what it can do versus the other ones, and maybe I'm just not executing.
You sure about that? That's
Definitely
why?
a possibility. We are going to though. We're going to get this disc to fly good. I promise you that. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be right now. I'm feeling it. We're gonna break 400 with this disc on this next throw. I'm gonna calm the tempo down, focus on nose angle, speed control. We'll let the disc do the work. And hopefully that'll pan out well for us. Catch you back at the tee pad. Old school video, iPhone audio and all, we're gonna get a good shot here. In fact, we're gonna throw the Reach third. Maybe that'll give us the best chance of getting a good release. See, I threw that one high. Maybe we're onto something. Maybe it's just my first shot I'm wanting to throw high for some reason. That was a really powerful throw. Turn that one over a little bit too much though. All right. Reach time's the shine, baby. There it was. We finally got a good release on it. Round 4, we're down there, and that's at least 385. Okay, pick up with you guys at our discs, and we'll move on and play the hole out. That was an absolutely superb shot. I forgot to U-disc the tee pad up there. Based off everything we've thrown so far though, I'm gonna say this disc is anywhere between 380, 395 distance-wise. And it's perfectly lined up for the shot shape you wanna have on an approach on this par 4. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this T-bird up to the dam on the back side of this little pond and see if we can't get a birdie with it. It's looking pretty good. That's gonna give us a putt. That'll give us about 28 to 30 foot putt. We threw a pretty good upshot. I'd say we're 26 away. Let's see if we can't can this putt and get a birdie with the bird. That's what happens when you throw fieldwork shots and no putting. One more try. Why not? Anyways, appreciate you guys checking the video out. We'll do a little closing on the Reach. I really like the hand feel. It's nice plastic. It's always a good idea to support smaller companies like this if we want to keep the sport growing, keep things moving along. I definitely recommend buying some discs from Birdie Disc Golf Supply. Everything I've bought from there seems to come in a timely manner and they seem good to deal with. I mean, I'm wearing one of their hoodies right now. I like a lot of their products, but other than that, if you're somebody who throws about as far as I do with the numbers that I've shown you and comparative wise, I would say this will be a really good mediumly overstable, not crazy overstable 12-speed driver for you. That would be excellent for windy conditions or when you just need to throw a shot that's going to go straight with a little bit of finish to the left and you know it's not going to turn over and burn on you. For that, it'd be perfect in the 350 to 400 range. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Peace.